This is Bob the Dragon. Bob the Dragon was born without any spikes on his tail, unlike the rest of his friends. This is something he has always wondered about since there are very few people just like him. Bob wondered if this has something to do with his genetics. For all the thorny dragons, they all have the same networks that lead to the formation of spikes in certain cells of the skin. Not all cells in the skin have spikes though, and Bob was wanting to understand why that is and if that's a reason that he does not have any spikes on him at all. To start off, Bob wanted to look at the wild-type version. A wild-type version is when there are no mutations in this pathway. The dragons with wild-type version will have spikes. This wild-type developmental pathway that all thorny dragons have, the S promotes the P, then the P will block the I, and since the I is blocked, and so is the K, and then the K is able to promote the E. Since the K is able to promote the E is then able to promote the spikes in the dragons. And all the dragons will have spikes. The next pathway Bob wanted to look at is a mutation in the P. If the P has a mutation, then that means it's not working properly and it's not able to do its job of blocking the I. And if the I is not blocked, then it's not able to block K, which in then turns mean the K is not able to promote the E, which promotes the spikes. So then therefore, no spikes will be formed in the dragons with this mutation. Then Bob the dragon was really curious to see what happens if the I was mutated. Since I is in the middle of the pathway will start the same. The S will promote the P, and then the P will block the I, but since the I is mutated, the P cannot successfully block I, and that means the I is not blocking the K. This means the K is able to promote the E, and then the E promotes the spikes to form. Bob was really curious to see what would happen if there were two mutations, so he chose the I and the E for mutations. If the I and the E are both having mutations, this would mean the S would promote the P, and the P would not be able to block the I. Because the I is not blocked, this means there's nothing blocking the K. The K is supposed to promote the E, but because the E is mutated, it cannot promote the spikes to be formed. The last mutation Bob was curious about seeing was in the S and in the K. Because the S is mutated, then it is not able to promote the P, and the P will not be able to block the I. I will then be blocking K, but since K has a mutation, this means it cannot promote the E. Since E is not being promoted, this means that E will not be able to promote the spikes. This means that there will be no spikes formed in this dragon either.